Are you curious about the current housing market in Murrieta after seeing so many people talking about how the real estate market is crashing? In this video, I'm going to explain the facts about what's really happening with the Murrieta real estate market. Stay tuned to the end where I explain how this market is impacting both buyers and sellers. Hi, I'm Bernal, your Southern California real estate agent. I've been living and working in Murrieta since 2005, and I'm happy to help you with any of your real estate needs. Give me a call, text, or email with any questions you have. I've had several people reach out to ask about buying and selling, and I'm truly happy to help guide you in making the best decision for you and your family. If you're trying to decide whether now is a good time to buy or sell, this video will help you understand what to expect. And because each person has a different situation, it may be the right time for some people and not for others. So call me. I'm happy to give you my professional advice for your situation and what's best for you. All right, guys, let's jump right into this. So this first slide here, we're going to look at the number of homes sold in Murrieta. We're going to look at year over year and month over month. So August 2021, so last year, 184 homes sold in the month of August. This year, 144 homes sold in the month of August. So year over year, that is a 24% drop in the amount of homes sold in the month of August. And let's move over here and look at month over month. So July, we only sold 107, which is a pretty low number. We're going to dig into that just a little bit more here to show you how low of a number that was. And then we bounced back up in August to 144. So month over month, that was a 35% increase. Okay, so just to give you guys an idea of what those numbers actually mean, I think that everybody would agree that the last couple years or so have been very abnormal, not a normal housing market by any means. So I went back between 2015 and 2019. Here is the average number of homes that sold on a monthly basis during that time period. Again, I think everybody would agree that that time period was a little bit more indicative of a normal real estate market versus the last couple years. So again, if we go back and look at those numbers, keeping in mind that 167 homes per month was the average between 2015 and 2019, you can see that, 144, not too far off, right? 184, not too far off. The 107 that we posted in July was definitely low. And I am actually going to show you a little bit more detail so to really drive home what these numbers mean. Okay, so this is a chart that basically takes us all the way back to 2008. And this is showing us the number of homes sold in Murrieta on a monthly basis. And again, keep in mind, these are single family homes only. This does not include condos, townhomes, or mobile homes. And the reason for that is about 85% or so of the sales that take place in Murrieta are single family homes. So that's what we focus on because I believe that paints the most accurate picture possible for the status of the real estate market. So here's where we are right now. What we posted for the month of August, this is month ending data, so 144. And then July, the month before, 107. So you can see if you go back, that doesn't happen very often. The last time that happened, that we went below that, was January 2019. And then prior to that, we hit 107 in February of 2013. And then it did not happen again until back in 2008. And that, much like what we experienced over the last couple years, 2008 was not a normal year in the real estate market either. So again, that 107 was low, but you can also see on the upper end, it's not abnormal to go, 200. It's not abnormal to hit 200, even up in the 250 range. That happens every once in a while. We hit the 250 range, above 250 about as often as we drop, into the low 100s. But if you see, anything in this range here, 170, 180, 150, that's all pretty normal. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, if you see 140 versus 180. It's not really a big deal. It will pretty much kind of even out in the end as long as we stay in that range. So what I really like to keep an eye on is the ratio of homes sold versus listed. And in this case, in August 2021, it was about 79%. In July of this year, 52%, which is a little bit on the low side. I'll show you a little bit more on that in just a second. And then in August, we were back up to 77%. So I'd say ballpark, the normal range is probably about 70 to 80%. When we start dipping into this here, 52%, we definitely start seeing a little bit of inventory pile up, which we're in need of a little bit of inventory still, but we don't want it to get too crazy. Okay, so again, just to give you kind of an idea of what these numbers look like in a little bit more of a normal market, between 2015 and 2019, the number of homes sold per month on average was 167, and number of homes listed was 223. So right at 75%, that's a pretty normal range, which we have not seen for the last couple of years. That's for sure. Okay, let's talk about mortgage rates for a couple minutes here. I read a lot of articles about mortgage rates, and they all pretty much say the same thing. I've probably read about 20 articles in the last month or so. This particular one, basically there were 3 financial analysts that weighed in on this article, and they all basically said the same thing. They're expecting the rates to kind of bounce back and forth between 5% and 6%. Out of the 20 or so articles that I read, all of them said they're expecting them to raise the rates. So normally what happens is when the Fed raises their rate, you see mortgage rates go up as well, which I'm kind of expecting, but let's see what happens in a couple weeks. In the meantime, here is what we do know. We do know if we go back to August 2021, the rate for ending that month was 2.91%. And then if we fast forward to July of 2022, it was at basically, call it 5%. So at the end of August, the rate was right around 6%. I think it was 5.99. And today it is still right around 6%. It actually jumped up a little bit. I think it almost hit 6.25, but came back down. So here's something to keep in mind. If you are actually buying or selling a house, the rates are very volatile right now. It's not uncommon for them to change like 0.5% in a couple days. Like I said, they jumped up to like 6.25. Then the next day they were back down to about 6. So that not only affects people getting a loan, but ultimately it affects people selling their house, because if, as the rates continue to slowly climb up or they're just super volatile, it could be a big difference if you lock in a loan at 5% versus 6% as far as your payment goes. So definitely something to keep in mind. You want to be in constant communication with your lender about rates if you're in the process of buying a home. And if you need to speak with one of the best lenders in California, in my opinion, give me a call and I will put you in touch with him. Okay, median price. Here's most people's favorite thing to look at. So if we go back to August of last year, median price in Murrieta for a single family home was $620,000. Fast forward to August of this year, we are at $655,000, and that is a little over a 5.5% increase year over year. And if you didn't see last month's market report, we actually had a huge drop. And then as we look at here, month over month from July to August of this year, July median price was $658,000, and now again we were at $655,000 for about 0.5% drop. So certainly not as big of a hit as the market took last month at a little over 6.5%, but still trending down nonetheless. Okay, list price compared to sales price. So what this slide shows us here is the percentage either over or under the price they got for their house based on the list price. So back in August of 2021, the average at that time was 3.9%, let's call it 4% above list price. So whatever you listed your house for, on average, you got 4% more than that. And fast forward to July of this year, that dropped back down into a little bit more of a normal range at 98.8%. So call it 99. So you're getting at this point just a little bit under your asking price. And that continued trending down into August, where it ended up at 97.5%. which is also a pretty normal number. And something to note here, that number ending the month of August, 97.5%. The last time it was that low was December of 2019, pre-COVID. So again, this 104%, we'll call it, not really normal. Back down into the, the 98, 97 range. That's normal. Back down to pre-COVID levels, we'll say. So I think that's good news. And here is an example of what that would look like based on a $670,000 sales price, because that's pretty close to the average sales price for a single family home in Murrieta. So if you were to have listed your $670,000 house back in August of 2021, so a little over a year ago, you would have gotten just a little over $696,000 for that house on average. So you would have made much more than what you listed the house for. And then in July of this year, if you listed that $670,000 house at that time, on average, you would have got about $662,000 for that house. And again, that is not abnormal to get a little bit less than what you list your house for. It is abnormal to get 4% more than what you list your house for, but we seem to be moving away from that. So, and if we look at August of this year, $670,000 house on average, you would have received about $653,000. So again, that's trending down. We'll see what happens with that next month. It's a good thing to keep an eye on. All right, average days on market. This means this is the amount of time it is taking for a person, once they list their house, to the time they accept an offer and begin escrow. So let's go back to August 2021, and you will see that average days on market at that time was 12, which is incredibly low. Fast forward to July of this year, it moved up to 18, and then 1 month later, in August, 23. So these are all, even though this is almost double, we're almost double year over year from August to August, that's still a low number. And I will show you now exactly how low that really is. Okay, so this graph here shows us average days on market. And again, this is all Murrieta single family homes. This goes all the way back to 2008. And just for fun, look at that. 100 days even was the average days on market in January 2008. And then we are all the way over here. We're at 23. So June, we were at 14. So you can see really now how low all this stuff really is. This is now we're back into June of 2020, just kind of getting into the thick of COVID. But before that, you can see that average days on market was much more, 30s, 40s, 50s, 67. If you come back here into 2015, 69. So, really anywhere in like the 50 range. So between 2015 and 2019, the average days on market was 52. So don't panic because it doubled. If anybody tells you that the average days on market doubled in the last year, that is absolutely correct, but it's also absolutely correct to say that it's still really low. Okay, if you are buying or selling a home, just a few things to keep in mind. If you're a seller, remember average days on market, though it's starting to creep up. Certainly nothing to be alarmed about, but as far as planning purposes go, don't plan on selling your house in 1 to 3 days. It's going to take a little bit longer, so plan accordingly. And then sales to list price. As a seller, don't expect to get 3, 4, 5% more than what you list your home for. As a buyer, know that you have a little bit more room to negotiate price. And as far as the number of homes for sale, that is creeping up. We are starting to get a little bit more inventory, which I think is good. We need to move back into a healthy market, and having a few different homes to look at as a buyer is good, and creating a little bit of competition, which is why we're starting to finally see these numbers up here change a little bit. So just a few things to keep in mind if you are buying or selling a home. And as always, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions at all about anything you saw here today or anything you didn't see. I'm here to help you out, help you make the best decision for you and your family. Is it the right time for you to buy a house, sell a house? Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Have a great day.